Hey guys, and welcome back to the Interceptor. We are here with another top 10 video, and today what we're going to be going over is the top 10 skilled champions in MCOC. That's so the top 10 of the skill class. So, I already made a video for the top 10 mystics, which obviously a lot of people would disagree with, but I do stand by every single rank I made. So that is, so yeah. Now we're going to do skill champions. This is actually brought up by us discussing Falcon, myself and a couple guys earlier today. So I decided to make my list for the top 10. Now, today I only have 3 honorable mentions. Last time I had 4. Just because I think that it's really hard for me to come up with like a 14th champion. I think there are 13 solid, good skill champions in the game, and then there's like a massive fall off to champs like Elsa, Dead Widow, and they're just too low. They're not worth mentioning. They're nowhere near the top. So yeah, let's start off with number. Well, this is not top 10. This is honorable mentions still. The honorable mentions are not in order. I'm not going to do that. Number 13, Blade. There was a time he was the number 1 champion in the entire game, and I don't think anyone claims that he is still number 1, but he is very good. So I honestly think that he can still stand his own. He can still do what he was made to do. He still shuts down those mystics. He still shuts down those villains while doing, honestly, pretty good damage for a 5-star. Now, he does have the lowest attack rating in skill champions, but he gets a massive, massive boost when he has his danger sense. So, I'm willing to completely disregard that because that's the only time you use Blade anyways. So, yeah, Blade is an honorable mention. Next one, actually do not have the champion. I don't think I even have him as a 4-star, but I'm going to check. Maybe I do. No, I don't even have Jabari. Jabari is the next honorable mention. I've seen good gameplay from her, but she is a champion that is a good synergy for Tigra. So you're usually going to like use her with Tigra, and yeah, I don't see it. I don't see the hype behind Jabari. I've seen the cleanse in action. I've seen the way she shuts down the debuffs. I've seen her damage. Not going to make top 10. But she is worth mentioning because I do think she is a great champion. A great champion. And I don't want to downplay that. So, we will go into the last honorable mention. This is a champion I definitely have as a 6-star. And this is going to be Gwenpool. Basically at number 11. And Gwenpool is a champion who, when duped, mine is not duped, but my 5-star is duped. So we'll go to my 5-star. When duped, she completely shuts down defensive, or is it just defensive? Yes, just defensive ability accuracy. It doesn't actually specify in her abilities anymore, but what she does is she shuts it down by 2% per hit in your combo. So at 50 combo, the opponent will have 0 defensive ability accuracy. So that'll bypass stuff like Thorns. It'll bypass Modoc's auto block. Like there's really a lot that it does. And yeah. So that is going to be it for the honorable mentions. She's also got Armor Break, Incinerate, Power Lock, or Enervate technically. And then she's got those bleeds as well. So, let's now go on to the top 10. Actually, I don't have this champion as a 6-star either. And at number 10, it is going to be Crossbones. Crossbones, after his update, is honestly a pretty good champion. He gets those Furies whenever he doesn't crit. He shuts down defensive ability accuracy a lot like some of the champions you guys are going to see a lot higher in this list. But I just don't think he does it as well, and I don't think he is usable in relevant content. Although I do think that he is a champion with great base abilities, and with the potential to go much higher on this list, like maybe even top 5, if the meta shifts to allow it. But as of right now, 10th place for Crossbones. Now we're going to go to a champion that has always been regarded as like a really good champion. When he is the champion that you want to use, he is by far the best option, and that is Killmonger. Killmonger is one of the best options for MODOK bosses, MODOK on node 53. You have that synergy with him that you just intercept, and then you have True Strike, can bypass a lot, or you can just punish specials. He's got solid damage output if you build up those passive bleed charges, and then, they're not passive, they're like the gray icons. And then you use a special 3. He's got massive bleed damage on that L3. And as a bonus, he's kind of a really, really good defender. But this is an attacker list, so that was just like a bonus. It has nothing to do with it. Mine's Sig 120. I think I'm placing him on defense currently. That's all natural, by the way. I've never thrown any Sigs into him. So yeah, that is Killmonger. Well, actually, that's not true. I think I put 20 Sig Stones into him once. Only 20, though, so I have pulled him 6 times. Now, another champion I do not have. I have him as a 5-star ranked up, and this is Hitmonkey. I don't have a lot to say about Hitmonkey. I think he's a good champion. He's got solid damage output. You get those the Assassin's Cunning and Primal Rage on yourself. And yeah, he's just really solid. I don't know a ton about Hitmonkey, like I said, but I do know he is a great champion. I've seen the gameplay, and yeah, he just melts stuff. So Hitmonkey is at number 8. Now, for number 6 and number 7, I could not decide. I have both of these as 6 stars? Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah, so number 5, I knew who the top 5 were. Number 6 and 7, I thought about it. I can't decide which is better. I honestly think that these are 2 champions that do completely different things. Almost zero crossover. But I think they're equally good in this game. So I'm going to mention them both at the same time for joint 6th/7th. Neither is ahead. They are at the same point. And that is going to be Kingpin and Stealth Suit Spider-Man. So Kingpin is obviously a champion that I really like. I've got him at rank 3. I've duped him naturally 2 times now. And yeah, you give him the hood synergy, so he has 100% purification chance. And then I think it's Mr. Sinister synergy, where you lock the opponent's power. I'm not 100% sure about that one. I think it's Mr. Sinister. And Kingpin is really a very good champion. Switty is a huge fan of him. There are a few others I know. Brian's a huge fan of him as well. But yeah, Kingpin is an awesome, awesome champion who can shut down defensibility accuracy on the L1. You can land those heavy attacks for the Furies, 3 heavy attacks within the timer. And then, yeah, he's just also got like a lot to him, honestly. He has higher resistances, and he also has higher combat rate when he has the rage on him, and he heals passively from the debuffs, from the rage debuffs. So that's pretty awesome. So, Stealth Suit Spidey as well. I do not have mine duped. If he was duped, he would be rank 3 a long, long time ago. And he does actually not need the dupe, but it makes his Furies like way more potent. So I'm just going to wait until I do dupe him to rank him up. And he's also a really high prestige champion. So he is a great damage output champion if you just put the vulnerability on the opponent. You can also put the miss or the power lock. The power lock is the worst of the 3 debuffs by far. I think if they doubled its length, I think it could be okay, but I think it would need more than double the time to actually make a difference and make you want to use it. But mostly it is the slow debuff for bypassing unstoppable and evade. It's just really, really useful. Stealth Suit Spidey also has the passive cruelty and precision, the passive precision and the passive fury that he places on himself, one that he can hold infinitely. There's no need to ever refresh it because you just dash back and it pauses for, I think it's 3 seconds. Also, if there are other sources of gaining passive furies, for example, Gwen Master, I think it is, in the Invisible Woman phase, if you intercept to get a passive fury, he can keep those infinitely, which is really, really cool. But yeah, let's move on from that into the top 5. Another champ I definitely do not have, maybe as a 4-star, but I honestly doubt it. Yep, I do not have him as a 4-star even, and that is Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is a champion who does a lot, and also if you build him up, he's just got that massive crit damage. I've seen insane special 2s from him. That's just unreal. He's also got slow, cleanse, and yeah, just a lot going for him. So we're going to move on from Shang-Chi just because I don't know a ton about him, but I do know where he lies on the list. And now we'll go into number 4, another champion I don't have, but a champ I really, really want, and that is Mole Man. I really want this guy as a 6-star. And no, that is a natural Sig 140. I pulled this guy 8 times as a 5-star. And also I haven't pulled him in about 6 months. So yeah, there's that. Mole Man is just an absolute monster. He's got guaranteed crits when he goes into Frenzy. He's got true accuracy to bypass evade. There's just he's got a lot not Black Panther. He's got a lot going for him. He's got solid bleed damage. He gains extra critical damage rating and attack rating when he's duped, which is awesome. And yeah, he also shrugs off all debuffs just right away, almost instantly. So the way it works is at the start you don't shrug it off instantly, and then the more monster mass you have, you shrug it off faster, which basically makes him just shrug off everything instantly after like 2 or 3 debuffs, which is really, really cool. But yeah, let's move on from him into the top 3. And I knew who was obviously number 1. I had a little bit of trouble placing number 2 and number 3 because they're both insanely useful champions in very different content. And what I ended up going with was number 3, Aegon. So I know he would be like number 1 or number 2 on a lot of people's lists, but I just don't think he has a spot in the game other than Labyrinth and Abyss. Although I know in certain other content he can do very, very well as an alternative. So for example, you normally have 1 or 2 champions that are like by far the best for a certain piece of content, and then there's also Aegon who can do it. Yeah, if you spend the whole path ramping him up, he can still do the fights. And he does a lot of damage, so he's got a lot of also utility with him, shutting down defensive ability accuracy. And he also gains a lot of buffs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. For Aegon, you guys know what he's capable of clearly, and now we'll move into the top 2. And this number 2 is going to be one that a lot of people disagree with. When I first stated my opinion that this guy was the 2nd best skill champion in the game, people were saying barely top 10. And I just think that's unbelievably incorrect. And at number 2 is going to be Falcon. So Falcon is an absolute monster in Alliance War Attack. He is one of the top 3 options for most defenders on Path 5 Section 1 and Path 5 Section 2. He just completely shuts down the ebb and flow intercept node, like completely removes it. And yeah, he's just an incredible champion. He's got really good damage. He's got huge crits. Even his base attack is just monstrous once you're locked on. He just crits like crazy, and they're really huge crits. Shuts down evade. He shuts down defensive abilities like thorns, and a lot more too. And he also has Bleed on his L1, Incinerate on his L3, and his L2 has guaranteed crits. I've seen Falcons critting in War for over 40k with their L2, so it's pretty nice. It's not that big when you're comparing only champions that have big crits on their specials. Like Storm obviously can hit like several 100,000 special attacks in when you're lucky with the crit in not usable ways, like in ways that there's no way you could use her like that in real content. And he's also he just does a lot of things, and that's why he's number 2. Now we'll go on to number 1. No one is going to disagree with me, I hope. This is going to be Nick Fury at number 1. I actually just duped this guy like 2 or 3 days ago, so I'm super happy. He's been at rank 3 for a while. But Nick Fury, absolutely insane damage, prevents miss and evade, ghost counter for Alliance Warp defense, massive bleed damage. You can use him with or without suicides because he just shrugs it off anyways. And then, but normally you want to use him without suicide, so you can throw your special 2 to build up the bleeds and the stun. But yeah, that is going to be my top 10 list. I know that was like a lot quicker than my Mystic one, but let's just go over it. So the 3 honorable mentions are Gwenpool, Jabari Panther, and Blade. And then starting from number 10 going up, Crossbones, Killmonger, Hitmonkey, and then number 6, 7 are tied with Kingpin and Stealth Spidey. Number 5, Shang-Chi, and then Mole Man, Aegon, Falcon, and Nick Fury. So that is where the top 10 skill champions lie in August 2021 right now, in my opinion. Obviously, everyone's opinion is going to change, so don't take this as an absolute fact. It is just my opinion. That is the top 10 list in that order. So if you guys disagree, let me know in the comments and I'll respond. But I think I'm pretty confident with this list, so that is going to be it. And comment which class you want me to do next. If like a weird argument comes up that I just want to make a list for that class, then I'll do that. But for now, recommend something if you want to see it. So yeah, that's going to be it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.